everyone, and welcome to our live. It's Saturday night, 9 o'clock in Cyprus, and we are ready for our live. Sorry about my look today. I am exhausted. I've been examining since 9 till 6:30, and then I came home and did a lesson. So if the live isn't as good as it should be, please forgive me today. I'm just a little bit tired, but still a promise is a promise, and I will never ever let you down. That's one thing for sure. So today we're looking at procrastination, not doing something and just leaving it off, just not doing it. Okay, so and the reason why we do that. So we're going to look into that soon. But the first thing we're going to do before we look into procrastination is I'm going to say thank you to the family in the Dare to Begin Life Coaching. I am just so excited about the group. We are buddies, we are family, we're whānau, and we are walking into the bright light together, walking shoulder to shoulder. We are walking, we're going to be shoulders for each other. Okay, that's what I want, to be shoulders for each other to, if we need to cry, if we need to laugh, if we need to sing and dance or whatever, we are going to be each other's shoulder, and we're going to be walking shoulder to shoulder with each other, giving each other faith and hope and love and all the good things. So, remember, just a quick recap of where we have come so far in the 21-day challenge. The first thing we did was we wrote a list of our diet of healthy eating during the week, what we are going to buy from the supermarket on each day of the week. Well, here it is here. On each day of the week, what we're going to buy. And then we put it into our weekly planner. Our weekly planner is where we write down our breakfast, lunch, and our snacks and dinner, whatever. And we plan our week from a week in advance, in order, if we negotiate with the mind and we want to eat something, we go to the, if I want to eat, I will, and you choose an activity out of this to do something instead of eating. And then we looked at our morning routine, which was waking up early. There it is there, waking up early, and maybe without your phone does not sleep with you, okay? Does not sleep with you, because it will rob you of your sleep. That's the truth. You wake up in the morning. You might want, a nice thing to do is either to pray, to meditate, and then you might want to do a little bit of exercise, to walk. And then you write down what you're grateful for. It's whenever you're grateful for something, more materializes. So when we are grateful for something, more materializes. Because it's just like when you give a gift to someone and they're truly grateful for that gift, because our lives are gifts, we want to give more. And that's what we do. So by being grateful for what you've got, you're going to materialize even more. And then you do your brain dumps. What I mean by your brain dumps is you write down all the things that are worrying you. And you can, just the things, and you might want to even categorize them, because what I've written in here is a category. There's A, B, C, D. A is your activities that you've got to do during the day. It might be the activities like going to the bank, going to the post office, going to the chemist, that kind of thing. Your B is your business, the lessons or the meetings you've got to have, and that type of thing. The C is the chores around the house. And the last one is your dreams. What you want, what you're dreaming on. Then once for 10 minutes, you brain dump, you get all of this mental chatter here, you get it down onto paper. You look at 3 of the most important, and then you see 1 to completion by the end of the day. That is your morning routine. Your evening routine, before you go to bed, you do your physical cleansing, detoxing. So you clean the sinks, you clean the counter, you sweep, you mop, you get your clothes ready for the next day, or you might even cook. You might prepare for the next day's meal. So you do all those things. So when you wake up in the morning, you're going to see a beautiful space, and that's going to put you in good spirits for the next day. You're not going to see dishes in the sink, or you're not going to see hairs on the floor or whatever, because I've got dogs. And then you clean out. Once you've done your physical, you go to your mental and you journal, just like the morning routine. And you put everything that's in here, you dump it onto paper, and you leave your phone with your journal in the kitchen, away from you, so you can have a lovely night's sleep. And then you do your bedtime routine. And the bedtime routine is your pre-sleep. I've got all of these worksheets in the downloadable file in the Facebook, in the Dare to Begin Life Coaching Live. And so I've got all of those up in the file. Your pre-sleep routine means when you're in a half sleep, half awake state, you visualize the people that come into your mind and you just see them. Even the people that have hurt you during the day, totally fine. You bathe them in light and love and feel the lessons that they have come to tell you. And you also bathe your loved one in love, and that will put you in a hypnotic state, a theta state, where you are ready to be able to program your mind. It's the hypnotic state, because when you're in half sleep, half wake, it's the theta state. You're able to program your mind, and at that state you're able to work on the reticular activating system, which is at the back of your mind, and program what you want from it the next day. And here is where you program your destined success self, and you marry that destined success self with the feelings inside your heart. You feel your heart racing, and you become the person that you want to attract. Okay, you become that person on the same vibration in that hypnotic state, because the mind will not give a logic to that. It won't, because it's so much in rest, it won't argue. And so that's the state, the theta state, that you want to program what you want the next day to materialize for you. That is our weekly planning, our diet, our if and when technique, and our morning and evening routine. Now we're going on to procrastination, which is our topic for today. I would say the causes of procrastination are our mind, our brain has been programmed. Our mind has been programmed to work in a certain way. And when we want to better ourselves, it means that it has to stop working in a certain way and learn another pattern of doing something. It doesn't like that. It wants the security of going. It's going to resist learning something new. I can give you an example. Before coronavirus, we used to go to the supermarket, or we used to go out of our house or meet friends or kiss and hug our friends and not have any issues at all. We felt love, we felt there was no stress. Now, as soon as we leave our house, we're on red alert. Our brain has to work overdrive. We have to use our conscious mind to be present to what we're touching, who we're coming into contact with, where we're going if we're going to catch the virus. And so that is the difference between the conscious mind and how we programmed our brain in a certain way, and how we have, that's what happens. And so sometimes we procrastinate from doing something because we don't want to become conscious of changing a routine that we have learned. It's so much easier to go back to our past patterns and not learn something new. And sometimes procrastination is good. I mean, when I wrote my book, Enough is Enough, A Helpful Guide to Managing Addictions, I sometimes had to procrastinate because it was a time where I had to download ideas. I had to learn something, so I couldn't write. Maybe I couldn't write because I was empty. And so maybe sometimes we need procrastination in order to be creative. We need that down time. But many a times, if we procrastinate too long, we won't do what we're supposed to do. And so we avoid, because we want the path to least resistance. We don't want to be conscious of working our minds to do something again and again in a different way, so we learn a different pattern, because that means, So how do we get over procrastination? Number one, the first tool is we forgive ourselves. We totally forgive ourselves, because we understand that we were programmed in a different way, and now we're trying to learn a different pattern. So we forgive ourselves. We sit with ourselves and say, and be fair, be kind to ourselves. The second thing we do is we project what we want in the future. We project what we want, our destined self. The third thing we do is we use Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No negotiations with this man upstairs. No negotiation with this man. And we just act. A friend of mine, Kenny, he gave me a list of beautiful quotes today, and I couldn't find them for the life of me. And so I will read them about action steps tomorrow to you. And then once you do the 5-second rule, you jump into action. Act. No negotiation with the mind, because the mind is there to stop you into doing the action, into changing, because it wants you to stay safe. It doesn't want you to work in overdrive. The mind doesn't want to work in overdrive, because it's used to doing what it's doing. So the path of least resistance. In the downloads today, I've got some worksheets that deals with procrastination and also deals with stumbling blocks, which is this man upstairs. And so there are 2 worksheets from a course I did dealing with procrastination, and you can analyze why you are procrastinating. So what is the action you are putting off? I'll tell you what mine is. getting a New Zealand passport back. I am totally putting that off because I know that I've got to go through all my files and that is really, yeah. So I am procrastinating. Describe the situation when you are tempted to put it off. I just do other things instead. I just do anything else but fill out forms. What are the payoffs of putting off the action, feeling down and feeling depressed and feeling, yeah. And what can you say to yourself in the situation to help you complete the action? See myself with my twin brother George in New Zealand. That's what I want to do. And so that's the payoff. And so maybe the short-term gain is that I'm not going to fill in the form. The long-term is that I'm going to be with George. And so that is in the worksheets that I've actually placed them now for you. And the next one is the stumbling blocks, dealing with stumbling blocks. Stumbling blocks, what are they? As soon as you set off to do something, there's always going to be an obstacle before you. Always. It's a law. As soon as you want to do something new, there'll always be an obstacle in front of you. And so this questions your road into changing something and to becoming and to getting what you want. And so that is also in the life. So the stumbling blocks will help you there and help you overcome the stumbling blocks. Well, I think that's it from me, you guys. I totally love you guys. I am so overwhelmed with love for our family, our whānau. And remember, we walk shoulder to shoulder with each other in pure light and love. Sending out love to you all. Good night and God bless you all.